What's going on, everybody? It looks like we're starting the week red. Bitcoin is dropping. Miners are somewhat mixed, funny enough. We're going to talk about one Bitcoin miner that's down, that's been in an amazing bull trend. And then we're going to talk about one miner that's up today that's actually flat from the beginning of this Bitcoin bull run. We have news that Mt. Gox is going to be paying back creditors starting in July. That's definitely bringing some fear in the market. We're getting some liquidations from that, from Bitcoin's drop, bringing even more drop. And we're basically going to talk about what's going on here with Bitcoin. We're going to check out the chart. And like I said, we're going to look at these two miners that are in complete opposite chart setups. Now, if you get something useful out of this, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. And first off, let's look at this Bitcoin news. Now, I wanted to show you guys this. This is Valkyrie's WGMI heat map for the WGMI ETF. It's basically a Bitcoin mining ETF, but I like it because it gives us a general idea of the Bitcoin miners. It also shows some other things like Nvidia. But let me know, guys, if you have a better heat map that shows all the Bitcoin miners. For me, it's basically a look over this or go to my WEBULL mining watch list and you've got the list of miners right here. I would love a heat map for the Bitcoin miners similar to TradingView's stock heat map. If there's not something like that for all of the Bitcoin miners, there definitely needs to be. But anyways, like I said, you know, it's a pretty mixed day for the Bitcoin miners. For the most part, they are red, but we do have a few outliers that are green, which is kind of funny on a day where Bitcoin is dropping pretty hard. Now, we had news that dropped today that Mt. Gox is going to be starting repayments in the first week of July. This is definitely adding to some worry today. The thing is this really isn't news necessarily. We knew that Mt. Gox creditors were going to get their money back. We heard not that long ago that there was a deadline in October 2024. So we knew this was coming. We just didn't know exactly when. Since the market now knows that the selling is beginning in early July, they want to tank Bitcoin. Will this bring a much lower price for Bitcoin? Honestly, I'm not sure. I personally doubt we'll see the low 50s. I did show you guys where the 200 MA lies on Bitcoin. We'll look over that in a second. But you know, this may or this may not bring a lower Bitcoin price. Consider what's going on with the ETFs. Besides, recently, they've been giving us overall inflows to the tune of billions of dollars. While there will likely be many sellers, I mean, these people have been holding their Bitcoin for so long. They have been waiting to receive this money finally. Many of them are up insane amounts. And this recent fear from the market of upcoming Mt. Gox selling pressure is bringing some liquidations to longs. Over $122 million of long positions have been liquidated from this drop. And this is definitely adding to the pullback. Think about this, the combined assets under management from these spot Bitcoin ETFs that have been trading since January of this year. Of course, Grayscale's the exception, but we have $63 billion in assets under management. Is this $9 billion from Mt. Gox over the rest of this year really going to bring down Bitcoin's price much? While yes, as of recently, we have been seeing net outflows from the spot Bitcoin ETFs, this isn't the norm. From the beginning of the year, we have been seeing inflows overall, and we will continue to see inflows from these spot Bitcoin ETFs. My expectation is that they would more than eat up this $9 billion from Mt. Gox, and that is the max. $9 billion is the max that the creditors can receive. Some won't sell, some are likely deceased. Some may sell at a later date. Some may try to time the cycle and sell in mid-2025. Who knows? But my expectation would be that these spot Bitcoin ETF inflows will, over the rest of the year, more than make up for the $9 billion of outflows caused by Mt. Gox sellers. Now, we have a couple interesting things going on with Bitcoin. We now have an oversold RSI. We've only seen this like 3 times this bull run since 2022. So it's times like these that you want to jump on them. Let me show you the other times we've been oversold in this overall bull run. All right, here's our oversold RSI. Let's go back. We were oversold here in August of 2023, back at $25,000. We touched oversold here at 19,000 when we flash crashed from about 25 down to 19 and then went on to rally to 30. We were oversold one more time back at the end of November 2022. This was like the end of the bear market. We hit 15,005. In hindsight, all of these oversold RSIs were fantastic buying opportunities in this overall bull run. I have no doubts in my mind that this is another example. Check this out as well. We have an inverse head and shoulders. Here's the head, here's a shoulder, and here's another potential shoulder. You know, if we drop a little bit more, head towards the 200 MA, I suppose this would be invalidated. But we also have something else. We have a descending wedge that hasn't been invalidated yet. We haven't got a candle to close out of this. I would definitely watch this descending wedge, make sure we don't have a candle close out of it, but so far so good. Perhaps we get our reaction and we break out. Perhaps the market reacts to either this descending wedge or this inverse head and shoulders. Maybe the market will react soon to this oversold RSI. Anytime we've seen an oversold RSI over the last 2 years, it has been a great buying opportunity. Alright, now I want to show you two very different chart setups from two different miners. We're going to look at SDIG and CleanSpark. CleanSpark today is actually having a pretty bad day, right around 5% down as of this upload, as of recording. As I've said before, I expect us to overall fill this broadening pattern. We are going to fill this broadening pattern out, in my opinion. Maybe we come down a bit more, come and test the 14s, before using this as a launch pad and blasting off, breaking our previous highs of 24, 21, etc. One thing you'll notice is this has been in an overall bull market from 2022. It's been overall going up and to the right. This was back in 2023. This was a $2-3 stock. It's still $16 even with this pullback. We're still up massively, multiples from where we bought this. Now we have a stock that's doing pretty good today, SDIG. I do think this Bitcoin miner will do pretty good once we start seeing upcoming earnings, once we start seeing that profitability again. This was one miner that posted profitability before the halving cut rewards. And you know, recently after this earnings, it has been an uptrend. Since April 2024, SDIG has been doing good. However, since the bear market of 2022, we're basically flat. Back in late 2022, early 2023, SDIG was a $4 to $5 stock. It's still right there. SDIG, since the beginning of Bitcoin's bull run cycle, really hasn't done much. I do find it kind of strange that something like SDIG is pumping today, that historically throughout this bull run really hasn't done much at all. It's just strange that something like this is green today, Bitcoin's dropping. CleanSpark, which has been in an overall bull market, along with many of these other Bitcoin miners, you know, the stocks like those are down while something like an SDIG is up. To me, that's the market playing games. And while I'm not doing all this to talk down on anyone holding SDIG, I'm not doing this to talk down on SDIG. There is some positive here. SDIG is finally breaking over its 50 MA again. It's breaking over its 200 MA. And we do have some curlage here. We do have the 50 and the 200 starting to curl upwards. This could be the beginning of SDIG working on a golden cross here. This could be a great buying opportunity for something like Stronghold. And to me, you know, these are the opportunities. Anyone looking for long dated calls, days like these are great days to buy some long dated calls. 2025 expirations. Get them while they're cheap. Get them while the miners are dropping. Don't buy them when they're running up. In my opinion, what these miners really need is Bitcoin to break new all-time highs. The market knows that none of them are really profitable here with Bitcoin where it's at. The market knows that now we are post-halving. These earnings numbers are going to look pretty bad temporarily. But make no mistake, once we get through this short-term fear of Mt. Gox selling, once we start seeing spot Bitcoin ETF inflows again, the Bitcoin train will get rolling, Bitcoin will see new all-time highs, and the miners will rally. And while upcoming earnings we might not see profitability, Bitcoin's been anywhere from 60 to 70,000. I would expect that once we get towards the end of 2024, many of the Bitcoin miners will be posting consistent profitability into 2025 as well. And I do expect it'll be a really great cycle for the Bitcoin miners, many of which have posted profitability that didn't last cycle. But what do you guys think about what's going on? How are you feeling about Bitcoin right now? Do you think we're going to see 50,000, 55,000? Are we going to get into the 40s? Would you be terrified or glad about that? Despite a day like this for Bitcoin, make no mistake, we're still in an overall bull run. Days like this do happen. We will have our dips along the way. And in hindsight, these will have been buying opportunities. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.